Hey everyone, my name is Will. Welcome to Room and Goods. So today I wanted to show you a couple of VR stands that I'm using to display and store my VR headsets. So if you're looking for one, you may want to check a couple of these out. I got the Skywin Universal VR stand and the Aura Universal Illuminated Charging VR stand. Now the question is, do you really need a VR stand? Well, you can store your headset in a cabinet somewhere or leave them lying around on a table, but as you know, some of these VR headsets can be expensive. So if you like displaying them, or most importantly, keep it safe where it's less likely that you will knock it down, you may want to look into some VR stands. Plus, depending on the stand, it can keep your cables organized. So let's take a look at the Skywin VR stand. Now, according to the description, it's a universal headset display and a cable organizer. So let's do a quick unboxing. The first thing out of the box is one of the frames of the stand and set of instructions. It should be a simple process to put together. It doesn't look complicated. Next thing is the cable spool, and then the second connecting piece of the stand. Next is the shelf where the headset sits on, and finally the base of the stand. And that's it. So there's a total of 5 pieces in the box. Now let's quickly put this together. First step is putting these frames together. Just snap it in. Now take this frame and then slide this into the back of the base. By the way, this base also includes these pads underneath so the stand doesn't actually slide around. Now let's just attach the cable spool to the base by turning it clockwise with these inserts, then lock it in, or you can turn it counterclockwise to unlock it. Next thing is putting in the shelf. So we just have to attach these latches onto the frames and just snap it right in. So nothing too complicated, took us about a minute or two to put it together. Okay, next let's unbox the Aura VR stand and see what that looks like. Okay, the first thing out of the box is the USB plug to power the stand. Next is the frame that holds the headset, and then looks like the product manual, and finally the base that also includes these pads on the bottom. The company also mentioned the transparent frame has a removable frost protective film on it. I'm thinking they probably mentioned that because a lot of people probably thought that they were actually scratches or looked damaged out of the box. So let's check this one out. So I'm peeling the first protective film off, and here's the second film. It looks like it's in perfect condition. I don't see any marks except maybe this part here, but this is actually where you slide it into the base, so you're not going to actually see this part anyway. So that's pretty much what's in the box. Alright, now let's put this together. So first step is inserting this into the base. Now the first time I actually tried this, I tried it on the right side, so it didn't go all the way in. Now if that didn't work, try the left side. The left side actually worked for me. When you do slide it in, just make sure you hear that click sound just so you know it's locked in place. Now the only thing left to do is plug this in to power the stand. So on the base, we have this power button to turn it off and on, and an LED button to cycle through the colors. I'll dim the lights a bit so you can check it out. It's actually not too bad. Now this is what it looks like when I completely turn off the lights. It looks bright, but don't worry, it's not that bright where it actually bothers your eye. And I thought this is a nice feature. It can automatically cycle through the colors so you don't have to stay with one color. It shows red, gold, green, cyan, blue, indigo, lavender, and white. Now let's move on to build quality. The Skywin VR stand is an ABS material, basically means it's plastic, but it's one of the more affordable plastics out there that is pretty resistant to strong impact. So it does feel pretty sturdy, but it doesn't have much weight on them. It only weighs 1.65 pounds. The overall dimension is just under 11 inches in height. The width is about 8.5 inches and the depth includes the shelf is about 11 inches. Now I noticed few people had mentioned it would tip over when they placed their headset down because the headset could be front heavy, but I personally never had that issue. I don't usually place the stand in a high traffic area, so you might not want to leave it in an area where you can accidentally bump it, but the company could add a little bit more weight to the base to fix that issue. Now with the Aura, it weighs 1.15 pounds, so it's even lighter than the Skywin VR stand, which I was actually surprised because for some reason it feels like the Aura was a bit heavier. Now the overall dimension is about 6.7 inches in height, 4.6 inches in width, and 5.5 inches in depth. Even if the weight is lighter, it feels more stable than the Skywin because it has a lower profile. It's not as tall as the Skywin. Plus how the headset is oriented actually leans back into the stand. Now the base does feel heavier as well, so that definitely helps with stabilizing the stand. As far as the material of the base, it's plastic, and the part that holds the headset is a crystal clear acrylic frame. I definitely like the contrasting material between the dark plastic and the acrylic instead of having it all black. Plus most VR headsets are dark, so welcome contrast between the headset and the stand. However, with the clear acrylic frame, it does actually attract more dust, so you'll be cleaning it more often. I suggest using a microfiber cloth and soap and water for cleaning. Now, as far as wire management on the Skywin, it does have a cable spool to manage your cables. So if you want to unwrap it, you just need to unlock it by turning it counterclockwise and taking out the cables that way. Otherwise, you can't unwrap it without pulling this out. As far as the wire management for the Aura VR stand, there's not really a space where you can actually store your cables, but the advantage of this stand, you can charge the headset from the stand. But you need to purchase a separate cable to charge your headset if you have a headset like the Oculus Quest. You can't use Oculus's original charging cable, which is a USB-C to USB-C cable. You need a USB-A to C cable to charge it from the stand. So you can purchase a shorter cable, you just need at least 6 inches of cable. Just so you know, if you do decide to charge it from your stand, it will only charge at 0.5 amps, where the original charging cables charges at 3 amps. So it will be a slower charge through your stand. It's really up to you how you want to charge it. Now, when it comes to appearance of which actually looks better, this of course is subjective. I personally choose the Aura Illuminated VR stand, partially because of the colors, but I do like the fact the Aura is compact and the height is only about 6.5 inches. Less chance of having it tip over, but don't get me wrong, it's not like the Skywin stand can easily be tipped over. I just feel the Aura VR stand has a less of a chance of that actually happening, or even at all. Also, I want to point out you need a good amount of clearance to get your VR headset out of the Skywin stand because of the height. You'll especially notice this if you have a shelf right above the Skywin VR stand. You may have to tilt the stand towards you to get the headstand out depending on your shelf space. But if you place it on an open shelf or a table, this shouldn't be an issue. Now, you'll notice both stands don't actually have a place to hold your controllers. I've seen some users hang their controllers off their headphones, but not everyone has that option, so you either have to store the controller somewhere or just simply put it next to the stand. Now, there are stands out there with handles where you can actually hang your controllers, like AM VR stand, but that doesn't have an option of storing your cables. I'll put a link below if you want to check that one out. So there are pros and cons to each of the stands. Now, what I usually do is something a bit different. Since my mic is connected to my mic arm, I technically don't need the mic stand, so I unscrewed the mic. I use the mic stand to hang my Oculus Touch controllers. So if you have something lying around you don't use anymore, perhaps you can find another way to hold your controllers. So here's my final verdict. Because of the LED colors, the low profile of the stand, and the contrasting material between the acrylic and the plastic, I find the Aura a better VR stand than the Skywin. Although I do like how you can wrap the cables around the Skywin, but it's not enough for me to actually choose the Skywin. So if you are interested in any of these VR stands, I left all the links down at the bottom, including the AM VR stand if you want to check that out. The links are affiliate links. You're not gonna have to pay anything extra. It will help support the channel. As always guys, if you liked the video, press the like button and consider subscribing. Talk to y'all later.